one is not born, but rather becomes a woman, once said the French author and philosopher Simone de Beauvoir, while writing The Second Sex, which turned out to be a major breakthrough in the history of feminism. As much as I enjoy her books immensely, I think this sentence illustrates the weight that is put on young girls and women's shoulders. To think that to be considered a woman you have to work for it and meet societal norms. The author meant that a woman is rather defined by the social process of becoming a woman rather than her biological characteristics. But still, it scares me to think that we have so much to do in order to be seen as a woman by society. A concept that is mentioned multiple times in the media is the concept of low body esteem. Before we get into the thick of the subject, let's understand what that expression means. Low body esteem is characterized by a lack of confidence in your own body and feeling bad about your body. It often leads to hours spent in the mirror inspecting your body, trying to find as many flaws as you can. Low body esteem can even lead to counting each calorie you ingest over the day. Clinically, it can lead to body dysmorphia, which explains the incapacity to see the true version of your body, meaning the version of your body you see in the mirror or in photographs is an untrue version of yourself. It can also lead to various eating disorders such as anorexia, bulimia, or orthorexia. Besides, it can also lead to serious times of self-hatred that causes a tremendous amount of pain. Sometimes, to soothe the mental pain, girls can inflict physical pain on themselves, which would be done through self-harm. There are a lot of reasons why low body esteem affects young girls. There really isn't one right answer to this. We can blame social media for projecting unrealistic beauty standards with people who Photoshop themselves but lie about it, making girls think it is possible for them to obtain a certain body shape. Those who are closest to us can also be the problem. A lot of the times it's our own mom or dad that comments on our body and destroys our self-image throughout our lives. I feel personally concerned by this issue. I don't want to get sentimental, but I have been suffering from anorexia for 2 years now and bulimia for about a year. It still isn't very clear in my head why it happened or what was the breaking point. I was a chubby child, so I often heard mean comments from people my age. I have said it before and I will say it again. I think children can be very mean. I remember crying about it a short time after it happened, but letting it go a few hours after. But now that I look back, I can see that it left wounds that are still open to this day. My sister is very thin, so my grandma often liked to compare our body types. I remember her giving a bigger portion of chocolate to her than to me, and me not understanding what I did to deserve it. I remember dreaming at night, when I was about 8 or 9, that one day I would become skinny and that my life problems would be over. I think it is a terrible thing to dream of when you're so little. My doctor was recommending an 8-year-old child to go on a diet. I was a very healthy kid. I didn't have health issues, so it wasn't like I had to lose weight for my own health. It really makes me sad thinking that a doctor, someone that is supposed to make you feel good in your own body, would make you feel so bad about yourself. The truth is that not every health issue is linked to weight. You cannot determine someone's health based on their body. You can't. I have finally come to terms about it, but oh boy, it took me a long time to figure it out. I was exposed to social media at a young age, but I sincerely don't think it was what affected me the most. I've always been a strong-minded person, meaning I saw other people living their lives, but I didn't feel like I needed to live the same life as them. I also, from a very young age, saw beauty in people of all sizes. It was in seconde that everything collapsed. I hated my body. I didn't feel at home in my own body and felt like starving was the only option. So I did, and I became small, really small. I can say that I've been big and I've been small, and I've been big again, then small again, and it's crazy to see how people treat you differently based on your weight. I was getting compliments every day when my hair was falling out from starvation. When I started to get better, I had people telling me I looked better before when I was sick. This leads to other types of eating disorders. It is a vicious cycle. I'm still trying to get better and I'm getting professional help. But it is extremely hard when you don't know yourself where the issue came from or how you can fix it. Because no matter how much advice you get from specialists, you are the one who can change things. And if your mind isn't set to do it, it is very hard to change. Eating disorders give you a false sense of control, which explains why you don't want to listen to doctors. From your perspective, you're doing things right because you're doing them your way. I still have a long way to go to recover, but I sincerely hope one day I will be able to feel at home in my own body and embrace it as it is. Mostly, I hope I can find happiness again by eating burgers, ice cream, because food is fuel, but it is also a strong source of happiness. In conclusion, I think society has a lot to change to make girls feel at peace with their own bodies. Influencers on social media should be open about what their real-life bodies look like. We need to pass the message that all bodies are different and a couple of pounds difference between people doesn't determine their grade of worth. It is often mentioned that boys suffer less statistically than girls, but I also think it's because in the media, eating disorders and mental illnesses are often portrayed by girls only. I think there are a lot of boys suffering in silence because society doesn't see them and doesn't give them the attention they need. The whole boys don't cry propaganda is extremely harmful. So I think we should be very cautious towards both girls and boys. Having interventions in class from mental health professionals could be one of the ways to go. I think there are plenty of problems in our society, but there are even more solutions.